on est reparti pour la suite de la quête. C'est parti.
Incredible strength. The attacker shattered this warden's bones with a single blow.
Such brute strength is not something an ordinary Borisin possesses. This is likely the work of Hulai.
Elle est morte sur le coup. Putain, la gueule. Je sais même pas si elle... Je pense que... Elle est morte sur le coup.
If I may be so bold to ask, is this Borisin truly that?
I have lived a bit longer and engaged in a few more battles than you, Miss Lingsha. To the Alliance, Borisin have always been the most formidable adversaries. And Hulai, with his strength, Hulai united numerous Borisin packs, forming a grand army of abominations of abundance. They constantly pushed the Alliance's armies into perilous positions. Over 7 centuries ago, I followed my mentor on a campaign against the abominations. And I, personally, even with medicinal pellets that suppress the fear caused by his lupitoxin, countless Cloud Knights succumbed to panic in the face of his murderous aura. That by the end of the battle, only a few of us remained. The Crimson Moon cast the sheen of blood on all. Everything I saw was painted dark red.
If that's the case, why wasn't the beast executed instead of being imprisoned? On the Xianzhou Juming, the judges cast those unforgivable and nearly immortal abominations of abundance into the eternal flames of the stars. Their so-called immortality is just a facade. I mean, nothing can truly defy death, can it? I just don't understand why the Luofu kept this tumor for so long, leading to the terrible situation. But I guess I understand. The people of the Luofu are known for their kindness. Even when faced with the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, they couldn't bring themselves to cut it out. Instead, they exiled the healer, who tried to solve...
I understand if you hold grudges against me, Miss Lingsha. I take the blame for the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus.
I'm just a healer. I'm not familiar with the past.
All right. Let me tell you more about...
Did this Cloud Knight also take the medicine?
No. This is a Borisin in disguise. A guard killed him before he could return to his original form.
All these Borisin are dressed in official attire. Besides the Cloud Knight, there were also 2 Borisin disguised as members of this... whoever is providing them with official identities.
Un prisonnier libre seul. L'agent va devoir retrouver la liberté et la stupéfaction. On met sur son visage, c'est le figé par la mort.
Someone bit open his arteries and drained almost all of his blood while he was still alive. Such a cruel and ruthless act.
Despite being a long-lived species, Borisin are actually more like predatory beasts that must feed on raw blood and flesh. I've heard that Hulai was deprived of food and water in the shackling prison. It's hard to imagine how he managed to suppress his hunger for over 7 centuries. Will the hostage from the Jiaoqiu be able to avoid being his meal?
J'espère aussi que Jiaoqiu est intéressé au repas.
Such is the terrible nature of the abominations of abundance. We subjected him to the Forest of Swords to drain his life force. But in the end, he's just like you said, Miss Lingsha. Casting a creature that can't be killed into a star would be a way to permanently get rid of it. But unfortunately...
The Foxians didn't agree to that.
Exactly. The atrocities committed by Hule went beyond mere massacres. Throughout numerous wars, we made every effort to eradicate the Borisin. But Hule, with his mysterious sorcery, turned countless Foxians into his pawns. And so the Borisin kept returning. The Foxians curse his name day and night, and they even use it to scare children into staying quiet. How could they grant a swift death to such a great... I wonder if you know why Hule wasn't taken into custody by the Foxian majority Xianzhou Yaoqing, but instead imprisoned in the Xianzhou Luofu, Miss Lingsha.
As you mentioned, your mentor was an exceptional warrior and was the one who defeated Hule, an extraordinary achievement. Therefore, the Marshal placed this feral beast under the jurisdiction of the Xianzhou...
It seems you have a major misunderstanding about this arrangement. Yanqing told me that an IPC ship was attacked by Borisin. Is this what they were transporting on the ship?
Yes. The Artisanship Commission and Alchemy Commission conducted a joint examination and found that the parts of this machine are made from specially refined Borisin bio. I heard the Intelligentsia Guild has been researching the biological properties of long-life species, hoping to make medical or combat-related discoveries. However, they haven't dared to cross any lines due to their so-called relation.
Perhaps to those scholars, Borisin are no different from lab animals. Maybe the Borisin attacked that ship to retaliate against the intelligentsia.
No. If it were only about revenge, they could just wreck the ship and destroy all the cargo, instead of allowing it to end up in the shackling prison. It was a deliberate display to showcase the dangerous nature of the cargo in broad daylight. This way, the cargo would end up in the shackling prison, serving as a tool for the prison break.
This skill in exploiting the blind spots of others' mindsets is so atypical of them. I'm afraid the IPC and the Intelligentsia Guild unknowingly became their accomplices.
On dirait qu'il y a quelque chose, qui bouge au milieu du tas de ferraille.
Watch out! This thing is still alive!
L'ultime de lingsha, il est magnifique. Je dirais pas c'est le plus beau de tous les outils que j'ai vus sur le jeu, mais il est beau. Vraiment. Non, même il est magnifique. Voilà. La machine géante remonte dans le silence. Non, retombe dans le silence. Comme une bête blessée qui aurait perdu tout son sang, incapable de bouger.
You haven't answered my question about why Hule was imprisoned in the Luofu instead of the Yaoqing, General. You've been reserved in your response.
The reason why the Marshal didn't leave Hule on the Yaoqing lies in the very mechanism.
Are you suggesting that there are people trying to understand Hule's secrets and use them for their own purpose? Well, I understand. I've heard that the Foxians on the Yaoqing share a bloodline with the Borisin. And just like the Borisin, some of the Foxians there experience an uncontrollable insanity. The Marshal believed that this would be inhumane and no different from what the Borisin did. So...
Exactly. While Borisin see moon rage as a blessing that unlocks their true potential, Foxians see it as an inevitable curse within their bloodline. Why can Borisin control the power of moon rage? Can we Foxians break free from this curse? These questions were asked frequently. Each questioner had good intentions. But the road to catastrophe is paved with good intentions. To the Foxians of the Yaoqing, Hule was not only the warhead of the Borisin, but also a monster that could be the subject of much research. Hule thus became a poison that corrupted.
That's why the Marshal decided to imprison Hule and the Luofu. It wasn't an honor, but rather a warning.
Because such selfish pursuits in the name of good intentions once led to a tragedy on the Luofu that served as
The sedition of Imbibitor Lune. By imprisoning Hule and the Xianzhou Luofu, the Marshal both suppressed the dangerous intentions of the Yaoqing Foxians.
That was a necessary trade-off. The Xianzhou alliance is not solely about the Xianzhou natives. Only when all three races, Foxian, Videodora, and Xianzhou natives, form an alliance, will there be a promising future.
Thank you for enlightening me. Was it for the same reason that you traded off my mentor to the Xianzhou Zhuming, only to stand idle and allow the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus?
You said that I couldn't bear to cut out the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, but instead exiled the healer who tried to solve the problem to the Xianzhou Zhuming. But did your mentor tell you her good intentions led her to perform certain healing arts on Dan Heng, who had just finished his hatching rebirth, so that he would...
What did you just say?
Quoi? Attends.
She believed that restoring the High Elder's knowledge of his past life would allow the Videodora to resume their duty as the guardians of the Ambrosial Arbor, quelling the strife within their clan and bringing everything back on the right path. But just as I mentioned earlier, the road to catastrophe is always paved with good intentions. Since then, the 6 charioteers decided that the Alchemy Commission would no longer have a cauldron master. Until...
If that's the case, I should thank you for protecting my mentor.
Quite the contrary.
Thanking me.
All I ever want is to have a clear conscience. However, can long-life species truly achieve that goal in their long-drawn lives? For example, you, and now, with the complicated situation in the Alchemy Commission, the Alliance has spared me a lot of trouble by sending you to handle this challenging task. Shouldn't I be thanking you instead?
Your eloquence is indeed impressive, the divine foresight. You won't even leave me any excuses to hold a grudge against you. But let me make it clear. The Alliance sent me here to handle the business impartially, not to choose sides.
C'est ses cheveux derrière aussi, là? Elle a 2 couleurs de cheveux.
It doesn't matter which side you choose, Miss Lingsha. At the end of the day...
Il y a des cadavres un peu partout. Le combat intense a dû avoir lieu ici. Examinez les cadavres frappés par le marin.
These Mara-struck soldiers don't appear to be escaped prisoners.
How can you tell?
These soldiers are fully armed. Obviously, they didn't hastily join the battle.
The messenger named Mozi did say that there were 2 groups of attackers. The other attackers, aside from the Borison, could hide their tracks. I believe he was referring to these people.
Hide their tracks?
Exactly. I've engaged with these attackers before, and they used Cloud Hymn magic to hide their presence. Without careful observation, no one can detect them.
You once warned me to be cautious of the Videodora Elder's influence within the Alchemy Commission. Could it be?
What's on your mind, Miss Lingsha?
Well, it seems that someone provided the attackers with a map of the shackling prison. And considering the Videodora's involvement in the prison's construction, it raises suspicion about their role in this. Additionally, the fact that the Borison need medicine to disguise themselves would suggest that there are still moles within the Alchemy Commission assisting them covertly. Moreover, forging official identities for the undercover Borison would require someone with significant authority. And the presence of assassins capable of using Cloud Hymn magic deepens my suspicion about the Preceptors. But why would the Videodara collude with the Borison and aid in Hulei's escape?
They aim to spread chaos. They believe that only in chaos can they regain their former power and influence. Since this edition of Imbibe de Lune, the once proud dragon race has been powerless, watching their influence wane. Being a native of the Luofu, Miss Lingsha, I believe you understand the implications.
However, I don't think the Preceptors are the true masterminds. If I'm not mistaken, the one behind all this treachery is the Lord Ravager who exploited the weaknesses within the Luofu and instigated the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, ultimately leading to the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection. Fentilia.
Please remember, General, that everything I've mentioned is mere speculation. We need concrete evidence for a public trial. If you want to interrogate someone within the Videodara's ranks, you'll need irrefutable proof.
So, what's your plan, Miss Lingsha?
I'll send an invitation to the Preceptors.
An invitation?
The Preceptors have been inviting me for a personal meeting since my arrival on the Luofu. Now, I'll send them the remains of these Mara-struck soldiers and the route map I found in the prisoner's possession. I'd like to hear their explanations.
Good idea. If I were to take action, it might alert the true. And don't worry if things don't go...
Speaking of the wolf hunt operation, I'm truly worried about the Jiaoqiu messenger who was taken hostage. Hulei was starving in the shackling prison for centuries.
Mais dis pas ça?
I don't know if the May Rainbow's blessing keep him safe.
Mais dis pas ça. Le pauvre. Oui, on le joue. Ah. 12 heures avant le début de la danse martiale. Attention, il est bientôt.
As I said, I'm a healer. But my art of healing requires the culinary arts to be truly effective. The magic of my cauldron is its ability to make all kinds of medicines into dishes that patients can eat. When simmered and cooked together, any kind of medicinal herb or ingredient becomes a delightful delicacy.
Non mais, en fait, Jiaoqiu parler, j'ai envie de manger, littéralement. Ah.
Delicacy. But isn't that just one flavor overpowering the others?
Well, you have a point. Let me ask you this. If there's a fussy child who refuses to eat green peppers, what's the best way to make him eat them?
Si un enfant difficile refuse de manger ses poivrons verts, quelle est la meilleure façon de lui faire avaler? Tu prends les poivrons dans la main et tu fais avaler directement. Tu les mets dans la bouche. J'ai déjà dit, j'aime pas les gosses.
Stuff the kid's mouth with the green peppers and cook him alive in a pot.
Bon, moi j'étais pas jusque là. J'étais pas jusqu'à cette partie. J'avais la première partie, mais pas le reste.
You have quite the sense of humor. I've heard that you Borison have lost many of your taste buds during the self-modification process, so you can't experience complex flavors. Only the saltiness of blood and flesh, truly.
It's a shame I don't have any green peppers right now. Otherwise, I'd happily stuff them into your mouth and cook you alive in a pot.
Il est pas comestible.
I'm just kidding. The answer is quite simple. Chop up the peppers and mix them with minced meat to make meatballs. This way, the flavor of the meat overpowers the taste of the peppers.
Mais j'ai faim, là.
And even a fussy child can enjoy.
Can I just boil your tongue in this hot pot? I know you're trying to buy time until someone comes to your rescue. You said that Jin Liu recently returned to the Luofu, right? Well, she did come back. But do you really think you can delay our departure by provoking Lord Hulei's desire for revenge? You see Borison as savages who know nothing about the Xianzhou. But in fact, we know all about your tracking tricks. Like the jade abacus you're... The more hope you hold in your heart, the greater your pain will be when death comes.
Ah, regarde,
I
c'est
wonder if
mort,
you
hein.
can maintain your composure when I tear your throat
Je le
open.
dis, Jiaoqiu va survivre. On a gratuit des morts. On a déjà beaucoup. 18. Galaga. Misha. J'ai oublié de prévenir spoil. Mais bon. Normalement, si vous avez fait la quête et si vous êtes juste que là, bah, vous le savez.
His composure is only a temporary effect of the medicine. And it will wear off soon, right?
Si vous voulez.
Lord Hulei!
Oh, you
Oh my God.
pathetic Foxians. For thousands of years, we were the ones who allowed you to live, and who granted you civilization. But in the end, you chose to betray us for the free... But it's all right. As long as you catch the scent of your masters, you obediently return to...
Non mais vous me demandez de faire des trucs comme ça. Je sais pas ce que je dois choisir. Après c'est un peu la vérité, c'est eux qui fuient en fait.
Run away, you said? Well, I'm not the one who's trying to run away right now. The Borison's era has long passed. Did they ever tell you these harsh facts before giving you hope for returning home? Now they're being crushed by the Merlin's claw of the Yaoqing, by a Foxian. They're hiding in remote corners of the cosmos, trembling with fear like a wounded beast on its last legs.
The Merlin's claw of the Yaoqing. A Foxian? Very interesting.
He isn't lying. That lowly beast was a war slave who ran away from our pack. Cannon fodder, a thief! She stole our power and used her knowledge about us to fight us, using every dirty trick in the book!
And she bested you, Moktok. Fairness is but a pathetic excuse for the dead and defeated. Since our great pack has fallen...
In our darkest hours, it was a prophet of the Master of Immortality, named Mongus,
Manga,
who showed us the way.
manga.
Her guidance brought us hope.
This prophet, Mongus, what does she want?
Mangas.
The prophet made this proclamation. The Borison have been divided for too long, and only your return can unite all the packs, restoring us to our former glory. And the prophet told us that the Foxian general of the Yaoqing would take you to her ship during the Luofu's war dance, and that it would be our best chance to infiltrate and free...
Even if you managed to set Hulei free, you'd have no way to escape.
We've already prepared our ships, and the prophet's prediction will surely come true.
J'ai envie de m'acheter la tenue de Jiaoqiu. Comme ça, je la mettrai pour aller travailler.
Once the news about the prison break spreads, the Cloud Knights will close all the ports. You may think you've escaped the prison.
Let me kill this unruly, lowly beast, Lord Hule! I assure you that our star skiffs will soon. Right now, everyone in the Lafu is distracted by the stupid war dance. So this will be the perfect chance to escape. Once you've returned to your territory, your revenge against the Xianzhou ships.
Perfect chance to return to my weak and shattered pack at the mercy of a ridiculous false prophet and become a mere puppet in her clutches. Her plan is full of flaws. The only path she has prepared. Listen up. A wolf never allows itself to become prey. From now on, you'll follow my orders.
J'ai envie de savoir ce que je m'aurais fait si j'aurais semé un petit peu la discorde face à eux en fait. Bon, je le saurais jamais.
Since you are so confident that the Cloud Knights will close the ports, Jiaoqiu, I'm now giving you a chance to go and see it for yourself. Go to the ports.
Wait, what did you just say?
But my lord!
Would an alpha wolf ever listen to a cub mock talk?
Je sais pas s'il fait plus peur comme ça ou plus. Non, je pense qu'il fait plus peur sous sa forme loup. Bon, en fait, des deux en fait, il faut peur des deux. Il devrait arrêter de se troncer les sourcils.
No, I've never heard anything like that. I wasn't trying to defy your will.
Ouais, pourquoi il y a pas les Boris? Parce que là, ils sont déguisés, donc ils passeront.
I'm offering you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't you want to run away, Jiaoqiu?
Ça me semble un peu trop facile.
You will come back. Because Foxians like you always obediently return to their masters, no matter how far they run away.
C'est pas un chien, hein? Oh, on va jouer. Oui. Invincible. Ajouté. Oui, trop beau, Jiaoqiu. Il est beau. Regardez.
Huh?